Hello, everyone. Jim Malone coming to you live from Dallas trading floor here in Dallas, Texas. Hey, everybody out there. Jim Malone coming to you live on Dallas trading floor here in Dallas, Texas. We have some real interesting stuff today. The market is really moving higher. Uh, very, very interesting times here. It's something that was not expected, but it looks as if we are coming out of this COVID-19 thing, and the states are getting ready to reopen. Strong action on the market today. It is up significantly, almost 800 points. And so that's something that is really kind of interesting that's happening here right now. And I think that we may be seeing a trend. I don't know. I was expecting a retest on the spider, but it looks as if we are moving higher. And just last week was a little bit down. I thought we were going to reverse direction, but that does not seem to be the case. Big news on Moderna. It looks like they may have something in trial for the COVID-19. So that's very, very positive. Also, it looks as if the everything may be reopening. Here in Texas, we reopened, and it's starting to get back to normal. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fallout. I mean, one of my favorite restaurants is going to close forever. It's sad, but things may be coming back. So it's just an amazing thing, and the price of oil is on the uptrend as well. So it is just a very interesting time that we're seeing out there. Just seeing the market move very, very interesting way that the market is moving. And so here we go. Here we go again. I hope that you we're gonna hopefully this will continue, and we will see it move ever higher. Let's see. I'm gonna have to add to my stream here. Um, and so there you go. As you can see, the market is in an uptrend, and I want to show you some things that some parts of the market that are doing exceedingly well. Um, the first area that I really want to go into here for potential trades is my little thing that I advertised today: how to make $1,888 in 4 days. Is that possible? Well, you know what? I did a similar trade to this last week with Netflix, and it went really well. Now, Nvidia, which I don't know if you know the company, but you should, because I think it's going to be absolutely a leader. It is a leader now. It's a leader. It's probably going to be a leader into the near future, and basically they are the leader in graphic processing, and this is required for all AI and other applications. So it's really it's really a big deal. I mean, we're definitely seeing that. I mean, we're definitely seeing um we're definitely seeing um everything. So here, there we go. That's why I wasn't live. So there I am. Now I am live. I am live on YouTube. So there we go. So that's why it wasn't going live. So hopefully we will see. Yeah, there we go. We're live. We're live on YouTube. And basically what I'm going over here on YouTube is how to make $1,888 in 4 days. I'm going to take a question from TikTok. What do you think about Exxon Mobil? As a matter of fact, I have it in one of my slides on YouTube. If you want to see my slide deck, just go to www.youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And I have some more information on a little bit later in the show. But here's how I hopefully will make $1,888 in 4 days on Nvidia. Nvidia is going to be reporting on Thursday, and it is gapped up. So I think there's very strong interest in it. Now it'll probably pull back a little bit, but here's what I did this morning. I purchased 100 shares of Nvidia, and then I sold a contract on Nvidia, basically, and the profit on it was 1,120. Now, at the time this slide was made, the prices have changed just slightly since these slides were made. As you can see, my cost was a little bit higher than it is now, but the option that I sold was the May 360 call, which expires on Friday for Nvidia, and this is the breakdown of the trade. If the trade expires worthless, I will still make this amount of money, $1,120. I potentially have an upside profit if the stock hits 360 or above, then I will be exercised. And the difference between where I bought the stock from where the strike price is 360 is $766. So potentially, if I'm called out of this stock, I could see as much as a $1,888 trade on this. Basically, the return on the option, which is what attracted me on this one, was very high. It was 3.2% for basically 4 days. Pretty amazing. And the upside potential is 2.2% for a total return in a week of 5.4% if it's exercised. So that gives you an annualized return of almost 500%. Just wanted to show you that for everybody out there. There are trades. Here's the thing about the market. there's almost always money to be made in some way in the market. And uh, it's just a matter of finding the right option and buying the right stock. And obviously, it's always the right buying the right stock. But there are deals out there all the time, and this is one I want to show you on Nvidia. The next one I have for you today, I have another slide that I'm going to pull up here, and this is basically what's causing all of the action on the stock. This is a company called Moderna, and it looks like they may actually have in a trial. Now, it's a very small trial, it's only 8 people, a potential vaccine for the coronavirus. Now, don't get too excited. It's still got to go through a lot of things, but this is truly amazing. And what's so incredible about this is that how rapidly they have been able to do this. And this is really because of the changes just in the last 5 years in the biotechnology space, which I think is tremendous. And we're able to basically do a lot of gene editing in this space. So it's quite incredible. Now, I do believe this is a little bit of a blow off top, but it's pretty awesome. I mean, look at this amount of volume, tremendous volume. And if you'll notice, the relative strength line is at 99. That means that this stock is outperforming basically everything else in the market. And as you can see, the this it's 5 times as much volume as normal. 549% increase in volume. 53.6 million shares changing hands. Absolutely incredible. Up $16. Don't necessarily, not the time to buy it right now, but wait until it backs off. Okay, SQQQ, tomorrow a buy, Bobby. I I wouldn't run against the market right now. Remember, the SQQQ is the short Nasdaq 100. I don't think you want to buy the SQQQ at this time. If you're looking to go in sympathy with the market, which I do believe may have turned a corner, and you just can't tell in these things. You might want to go with the TQQQ, not the SQQQ. I think that that's going to be a little bit difficult because I don't think the market. I think because the Texas and other big states are starting to reopen, I think that you know we might get a situation where you don't want to be in the SQQQ at least right now. So if you're going to play the Qs and you want to play them leveraged, the TQQQ, that's the that's the, companion product to the SQQQ, may be where you wanna go. Now, I do think, though, there is a way to play this rally in the biotechs, and there's a very interesting new ETF out there. I don't know a lot about it. I'm not in it currently. I'm just starting to do research on it, but it's the iShares um, genome and immunology and health ETF, currently trading at 37.23. It's up $1.84, which is 5% just today. A volume of 322%. It's still relatively low in terms of its volume, in terms of its shares, but this is the one that covers Moderna. It covers uh, Gilead Sciences. It covers the the biotech companies. Now, here's the thing with the biotech companies: they're very hard to play because typically they don't have large earnings, and they're very dependent on um, other things to make it happen. So this is a good way that you could do. You can be in the biotech space, which I do think, it's just looking really good on that. And the symbol is IDNA, kind of catchy. But this is the one you want to take a possibly look at. And I'm going to start covering this because I do think, coming out of this COVID-19 thing, I think we're seeing some trends. And the trends I think we're seeing is we're definitely seeing technology. There's no question about it. Technology's become the new bedrock of the economy, okay? We're also seeing healthcare and biotech. Not the normal healthcare, not the big healthcare players, but the biotech players. Now, these are very hard to play, so that's why I really like the idea of this ETF. So something you want to put on your radar screen. Its symbol is IDNA. That's the way to pay this coronavirus. I think until we get a um, something, there's going to be a lot of action in this space. Now, is everything going to sell off? It might. I wouldn't buy Moderna today because I do believe it's going to come down to earth a little bit. But I do think that, at least until the end of the year, at least until a vaccine is out there, I think there's going to be a lot of nice action in a lot of these stocks. And here's a way that you could do it more safely is to not just buy one, just kind of buy the whole sector, because the problem is that there's no one stock really that's really well enough capitalized in the space. So this IDNA is possibly a really good way to go. And it's only 37.23 a share, which, it's that's not that pricey considering what's in it and kind of considering the kind of moves that we've seen on it. So tremendous um just a just an idea there. Now, I am trying to answer the question, what should um what should we we do with the oil sector? The other sector of the economy that's really moving today is oil. Now, I don't think it's going to go back to the levels it was in 2017. I just don't because, oil was selling almost north of $80 a barrel, but that's not happening. But oil broke a key barrier today, and it's above 30, and I think it may stay above 30. I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping it will stay above 30. And that's why I'm recommending if you're going to go long term, this isn't a short term trade, this is a long term trade. If you're going to go long term, look at ExxonMobil because as the other companies don't do quite as well, you know, as the other companies don't do quite as well, um, you know, I think you're gonna see um, uh, I think you're gonna see more action there. If you're having trouble with the audio, I'm sorry about that. We just network congestion. The where to go is TikTok because TikTok, for some reason, just does a better job with their audio. And my TikTok handle is tiktok.com/ at sign JKMALONE. Next question. What do you think about Disney? Well, you know what? Disney's really fooled me. I had a bear crawl spread on Disney, and I still do. It expires on Friday, and it looks as if, I was wrong on that one. It seems to be moving higher. So, there you go. I think Disney, at least in the short term, when it reopens, may do better. Now, typically, when I'm looking at an earnings play, I do the spread. What the way that works is that what I did in the case of Disney is I bought the closest in the money strike on the call, and then I sold this closest out of the money strike on the call, which basically limits my risk to basically the spread between those two calls. And in my case, it was $1,000. Now I did 10 contracts. So there you go. What about Royal Caribbean Lines? Well, here's the thing. I have a play not on Royal Caribbean, but on Carnival Cruise Lines, which is the biggest in the space. I still think that this is a very impacted space. I still think this is. I think this is a. I think this is still a very very impacted space, but I have a play on it that might work for you on that, and that is, I think that we're going to get a situation where we're going to have a short squeeze on Carnival Cruise Lines. But first, I'd like to cover how, because oil prices have moved higher, how this natural gas company this is a possible play on the natural gas. I think that natural gas is going to firm up a lot better than oil because it's not an internationally traded commodity as oil as the oils are. I think it's a less traded commodity. So I do think that we're going to have more strength in the oils. I mean, in natural gas rather than the oils. And the one that you want to look at on this is Williams Company's symbol WMB. You want to definitely take a look at this one. Oh, wait a minute. I just lost my connection. I am sorry for that. It looks as if I just lost my connection. So hopefully I can get my connection back. and we seem to be having technical difficulties. Ouch. So let me see if I can do that. Okay, well, okay, so hopefully I can get back online here. No, it looks no, I'm still online. Good. Seems to just had a little bit of a brain fart there, and we have a very poor connection, unfortunately. I have to get some more bandwidth in this. I just lost my connection for my phone. So anyways, there we go. Let's see if I can go to the next slide here. All right. Let's see. Hopefully I have the next slide. I am basically bandwidth constrained here. So I don't know what's the deal here, but we're still live, and hopefully bought RCL at 25. Would you sell? Yes, I would sell, because here's what I think is going to happen on the cruise lines. I think as we open, I think there's a lot of excitement on the cruise lines, which is a great thing. But I don't think that it's going to be sustained. I do think these are very heavily shorted stocks, and there's a way to make money when a stock is very heavily shorted. If you see that the stock is more than 20% short, then you want to then you want to go long on it, because there will be a short squeeze. Why Expedia and Bookings Holdings have surged? Any thoughts? Absolutely. This is a short squeeze. So many people shorted this stock that now they're getting called on these short positions. And so what's happening is the stock is moving up. As a matter of fact, I have a play on Carnival Cruise Lines that basically deals with that, buying the 1750 call, the June 1750 call. And the reason is because it's a very cheap call and it can be bought relatively inexpensively. And I do think there's going to be a short squeeze on Carnival Cruise Lines because it's so heavily shorted. Thoughts about TYL? Coming off a nice handle type formation. Absolutely. I probably give you a update on that one here in just a second. So hopefully, let me see if I'm okay. Next things I'd like to cover. Microsoft is in a buy range. Okay. And that is important. So I'll cover that later. But anyways, Carnival Cruise Lines, I believe, is going to have a short squeeze. Now, what is a short squeeze? A short squeeze happens when um, uh-oh, a short squeeze happens when the when the market moves against the stock. So there's about 20% of the stock is short now. I believe that if Carnival just moves up slightly, there will be a short squeeze on the stock, and that will make it very, very difficult for the shorts to continue, and that will push the stock higher. It will then go lower, but that's why I am potentially looking at a very speculative trade on Carnival Cruise Lines. And basically, this is basically buying the June 19th, 1750 call at 71%. And this may be a good trade. I'm not currently in the trade yet. I'm gonna reevaluate on it tomorrow. But I do believe that this has the potential of doing extremely well because I do think there's going to be a short squeeze on Carnival Cruise Lines. So hopefully I can get back online here. All right. So are you are you camera, because every time I look at you, you thank you, man. Well, I hope so. I hope so. What is your thoughts on Beyond Meat? Well, here's the problem with Beyond Meat. I see them with a lot of potential competition, and I think that the space is definitely a good space, but I see the big meat companies coming into this space because I don't think Beyond Meat is gonna have it all to themselves. But I do think it is a good, it definitely is the future when it comes to that. If there, this is a comment from Hitachi. Um, if this is a confirmed under, do we get out of gold? Bought KL today at 38.76. It is a confirmed uptrend, but I'm not so sure that KL is a bad trade. The reason I don't believe it is a bad trade is because I think that on the other side of this, when the economy starts up again, I think we're going to have a lot of inflation, and I do believe that as an alternative to the dollar, a lot of people will want gold. Um, that's what I think. What are the good stocks to buy this week? Um, okay. Here's what I'm buying right now. This morning, I bought NVIDIA, NVDA. I bought NVIDIA, which I think is is going to be having I bought it before earnings. This is not normally what I do, but I do think because it's gapped up twice, I think the earnings are going to be extremely good on Nvidia. Now, will it fall after the earnings? Probably. I'm a little bit high in the trade. I got in at about 352, so I'm a little bit high in the trade. But I do think that when they announce, I think it's going to be um, it's going to be a good trade. Now, okay, I have another question from Andre. Thanks for this discussion. So appreciate it. What about WFC for the long run? Well, I don't like the financials. Okay, I know that they're a great deal, and I know everybody says that you're supposed to be buying the financials, but I don't see them being able to make a lot of money in this environment because the rates are so low. If there was going to be a lot of borrowing and the rates were higher, I would say go for it. But I don't think WFC is the where to go. And I think I have this on my side because even Warren Buffett, who is just he's Mr. Bottom Fisher, even he is getting out of the banks. That's so amazing. I just think that if you buy Wells Fargo, it's going to be a world of pain. The best thing to buy is something that is going to move is going to move higher. And the where I think it's going to move higher is PayPal. Look at PayPal. Now, also Square a little bit is down today. It's also a great stock. I believe Square is great, but I like PayPal better. And here's why. PayPal is being accumulated by the very biggest funds. Why? Because the world of banking is changing. Everybody can get a PayPal account. and you don't have to have the fees that are associated with the big banks. I just think that they're the premier financial stock right now. I have a PayPal position. Um, I sold my PayPal position on Friday only because I was called out of the stock. I had done extremely well on PayPal. So that's where, if you're looking for a financial, I think you want to go with PayPal. That's my opinion. I just think they're going to be they're good and they're getting even better. So that's what that's what I want to say about the financial stocks. Stay away from the big money center banks. I just don't think that they're that great. Now, there's possibly one exception, and that's JP Morgan, but even there I wouldn't be in there. And why? Because I just don't think that the market is moving that way. I think the market is moving to things like PayPal. Let's see. Is there a public market now for Google? Uh, is there a public market now for Google, Facebook? I love Facebook too. By the way, I'm in Facebook just for lack of just for transparency. I currently don't trade that many stocks at a time. I typically limit my number of trades to 8. I typically will take positions in 8. Now, I've had a trade on Facebook since last week, and I see it accelerating. Facebook is very close to a buy point, and if it moves above, I believe 228, you're going to see all kinds of money come into Facebook. Right now, it's below that. Um, but it's potentially there. So um, on my screen, I hope that you can see this. I'm having again, uh, once again, I'm having technical difficulties, but I want to show you this long-term leader list here. Of course, Adobe's at the top, and we have some other really great companies in there. Microsoft's on the list, but I want to show you this PayPal. PayPal is up almost $2 today. That's where you want to be in the financials. Don't take the sucker bet and go with WFC. It may be a quote unquote value, but I don't think that, long term, it's going to give you the kind of return that you're getting on Facebook. I mean, on PayPal. Also, Facebook is where you want to be. Now, it's true, a lot of companies have moved into these areas. The multiples are big, but it's just value investing in this environment is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Um, and so I just want to be really transparent about that. If you're in a stock like a um, uh, uh, you know, if you're in some of these financials, I would consider getting out. Peloton, a buy or sell. Well, here's my here, Kimberly. Thank you for the comment. You know, these COVID stay at home stocks, they're hard to predict, but I do think, I'm not really a fan of Peloton because I do believe it's limited, but then again, this COVID thing has really, really, really moved it up. If you're in it, saying I wouldn't get in at this point. I think it could move backwards when the gyms reopen. But again, it's right now it's good. So, is there anyone buying ads today with coronavirus? Absolutely, there are. There are people that are buying ads, and guess where they're buying them? They're buying them from Facebook. And nobody likes Facebook Everybody hates Mark Zuckerberg. They think he's a jerk, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? He has a ad machine that is unparalleled because here's what's happening, folks. Small businesses, this is pushing every small business online. They have to be online because retail doesn't work anymore. So they're having to go online. So guess who they're buying guess who they're buying their ads from? Well, Facebook and Google. Now Google's too expensive, but Facebook is right in there with price. And by the way, TikTok, which I'm broadcasting on right now, they're getting an awful lot of ad buys from big companies like Frito-Lay and Old Spice and people like that. So I do think that, look, everybody wants to tell you when stocks rally like this, they want to say, go look for some value stocks. Well, you know, the world is changing. The world is changing, folks. And, you know, if we get into the right stocks, the formerly, the General Motors of the world, they're not doing very well, even though they're opened up. But the Microsofts of the world, if you want a solid stock that's going to be there in and out, look at Microsoft. I have been trading Microsoft successfully for 3 years, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. I mean, it's very boring. I mean, but they've got all the voices covered. So if you're looking for a longer term hold, look at a Microsoft. I mean, yes, I mean you can buy the QQQ, you can buy a lot of these things for longer term, but I don't think that you're going to be as rewarded. Why Facebook is more valuable than Google? Well, I'll tell you, because Facebook has actually more actionable data than Google. It's amazing. But Facebook is going to be, after we reopen, it's going to be one of the long-term winners. Now for lack of full disclosure, I own Facebook and I've been trading Facebook for about a year, and I have done very well trading Facebook. Why? Because the world is moving towards Facebook's model. They're moving to the way that they place ads, and so that's what you see. You see Facebook becoming very valuable. Now, here's what's happening: the broadcast networks, with the exception of radio, are losing value. Okay, so be careful about those. Where are they going? Well, they're going where the eyeballs are. The eyeballs are with Facebook and Instagram and all the other things that they own. It's truly amazing. So that's what I see in terms of Facebook. I think Facebook is very, very, very well positioned to take advantage of the situation that we have. And that is, we have a world in which everybody is connected on their cell phones. And so, the Facebooks of the world, the software companies that take advantage of that the best, Google being in there with Android operating system, but Facebook doesn't care what operating system. You could have iOS, you could have Android, and they all sell ads on it. And they're in a pretty awesome position to be kind of blunt on it. This is also why I think if this COVID, if we start to reopen in our society again, wanted to say Grubhub